Hi everyone, and welcome to the course of Phonetics, third year. Sounds in connected speech. This is lecture 2, sounds in connected speech. Influence of adjacent sound. We have now examined all sounds of English one by one. Of course, first year and second year you have studied vowels, consonants, diphthong, all English sounds. We have now examined all the English sounds one by one, but speech sounds seldom occur in isolation. They are nearly always strung together to form words and sequences of words. Now, in any combination of sounds, there is a tendency for each sound to be influenced by its neighbor. So here you see tendency for each sound to be influenced by its neighbors. Sometimes this influence will be so slight as to be hardly noticeable. At other times, it will be very strongly marked. From time to time in the chapters on visual sounds, we have had occasion to mention some of the ways in which adjacent sound affect each other. So in this chapter, we shall study this kind of influence more thoroughly. Let us begin by enumerating the most important of the influences that we have already noticed. Let us see here. The quality of vowel number 12 will vary if you'd like to remember. Okay, here go back to vowels. I put at the beginning of the book list of consonants and vowels. So this is number 12. Okay, so the quality of vowel number 12 will vary schwa according to its position of a word in a word or a sentence, and we found that a similar thing, this is reference to parts in the book, that a similar thing happens to the consonant L sound. We saw that there are as many different sounds as there are vowels in English, and which particular sound is used in a given situation depends on the vowel that is to follow. When the vowel schwa, this is our sound, follows a closing diphthong, the second element of that diphthong is weakened. Okay, so this is important. Look at this word, Christmas, and may vanish. We saw that t and d are dropped in certain combinations of consonants. Instead of say Christmas, we do not say Christmas, Christmas, and handsome. So this is when we have the vowel follows a closing diphthong. The second element of the diphthong is weakened and may vanish. Okay, and in the second point, that t and d, t and d. Okay, and t and d, we have uh, this kind of elision or dropping the consonant t and d, Christmas, handsome. Among the different influences exerted by adjacent sound, we can detect two important tendencies. In the first place, so we have two tendencies. There is a tendency for a sound to be made more likely the surrounding sound, so it influences its neighbor. A sound influences its neighbor, as when the quality of is adjusted or assimilated sound to the following vowel. Secondly, there is a tendency for a sound to be omitted So sometimes adjusted or assimilated, and sometimes it is omitted. So in this part we have what we call assimilation and omission all together in certain circumstances. And when t is omitted or elided in Christmas, the two processes are known as assimilation and elision. This is our lesson today, assimilation and elision. Sounds affect each other. Assimilation and elision. Let's start with assimilation. The underlying cause of both assimilation and elision is an unconscious striving of economy for economy, because you want to talk fast and have ease of articulation. So economy of effort. It requires less effort because before long E to say E and E colored than an U colored one. And it is easier to say Christmas than Christmas. So in this transcription, this transcription is easier than that transcription. Christmas. In both cases, there is a saving of effort. In other cases of influence from adjacent sounds, there may be no saving of muscular efforts, and there may even be an increase of such effort, and yet the pronunciation is made easier, as when an R is inserted between far away. Here we have insertion of R. We add R instead far away. If you pronounce together, pronounce it together, far away, we add R. We add R, we say far away. So the word far alone, okay, and away, this is transcription. We do not say far away, no, we say far away. Why? To avoid an awkward clash of vowels, to avoid clash of vowels, because this is vowel and that is vowel. It ends with a vowel, and this word begins with a vowel. So in order to avoid clash of vowels, we have to add R, far away. We shall see more examples presently of this striving for ease and economy of effort. It should be realized that the striving for ease and economy of effort is a universal feature of one. It is found in all languages, African as well as European, but it manifests itself differently in different languages. Combinations of sounds which to the speakers of one language seem awkward and in need of simplification. So why we have uh, assimilation and elision? Because of simplification, pronunciation, simplifying pronunciation. In need of simplification may give no trouble at all to the speakers of another language, who may have quite different ideas of what is awkward or easy. It is very important to realize that each language has its own set of rules for assimilation and elision, and so on. Just as in speaking another language, one should avoid the sound of one's own unless they happen to coincide with those of the new languages. So one should also be careful not to transfer to the other language the habits of assimilation and elision that one is used to from another from one's own language. Let's look at other examples. Let's look at this language, this piece of, here we can highlight. If you come across it, pronounce it if if you come across it, if you come across it. And instead of the corrected form, if you come across it. So what happens here? And instead of saying if you come across it, we say if you come across it. And this in some speakers of African origin. Most often the speaker who will not, because this what happens here is a kind of assimilation. So, here you say if, can highlight in red, if, so instead of if, it is assimilated to v sound, voiced sound, because of followed by yeah. If you, if you come across it, instead of across it, because it is followed by a vowel and comes after a vowel, between two vowels. Most often, the speaker will not himself be aware that he uses v for f or z for s sound, nor will he usually be aware that he sometimes voices f and s in his own language under the influence of neighboring sounds. This substitution of v for f or and z for s in the English of many African is purely mechanical one, like the replacing incorrect English of one kind of he by another when the following sounds requires it. The following sound requires it. It is a form of assimilation when the sounds surrounding F and S are voiced. It means a saving of effort if the vocal cords are left buzzing for other two sounds as well, but in this case there should be no assimilation in English. It makes your speech very slovenly, so be careful to avoid this mistake. African speakers of English sometimes omit sounds which are not omitted in correct English. It is a feature of English as compared with many African languages that it abounds in combinations of two or more consonants. The word strength, this word, strength, velar nasal, strength, for example, contains five consonants and one vowel, all in the same syllable, in one syllable. Many of the English consonants or English consonant groups give difficult to African, who tend to have unconsciously to simplify them by leaving out one of the consonants. Instead of that's what I mean, you see the sentence or the phrase, transcription. Okay, instead of saying like this pronunciation, that's what I mean. Many African will say, that's what I mean, instead of that's. They drop t sound here. You see this? They drop t here. Compare the two pronunciations. Instead of that's, they say that's what I mean. That's what I mean, or even that's what I mean. What happens here is a kind of a legend or dropping the sound, which does not occur in original English, but this is an African slang or of English, or African speakers of English use this type of pronunciation. Okay. Similarly, instead of read the book, read the book, this phrase, many Africans will say read the book without or dropping the sound. Compare this and that. Read the book, read the book, read the book, read the book. Okay? And instead of shut the door, shut the door, see the phrase? They say shut the door without sound. Notice if you can put a rule here. They, African speakers of English, They drop the dental sound here, okay, if it is followed by another dental sound or interdental sound. In these cases, there is no elision in English, so Africans should be careful to avoid it. On the other hand, in the correct English pronunciation of the last two phrases, it is simplified by assimilation. We can assimilate it, but not to drop these consonants. We will stop right now to communicate and continue the discussion in the platform and the group. Thank you for listening and see you next class.